Boyfriend told me that he has to insult me and put me down so that I won't think I can find something better. I'm confused right now and honestly don't know whether this qualifies as emotional abuse or if my boyfriend is simply being cruel. My boyfriend, 27 male, and I, 25 female, have been together for almost 2 years. Before him, I had never really been in a serious relationship because my career has always been my main focus. I'm a very independent person, confident in who I am, and generally secure in myself. When we first met, he pursued me relentlessly. He seemed completely obsessed with me and put a huge amount of effort into getting my attention. Eventually, I gave him a chance, and once I got to know him, I realized we connected really well. I developed feelings for him, and for the first year, things were genuinely great between us. Around the 1-year mark, though, his behavior started changing. He has always enjoyed teasing, but it gradually shifted into something that felt genuinely mean. He began insulting me, making rude comments, cutting me off while I was speaking, and even telling me to shh in the middle of conversations when I was trying to tell him something important or simply talk about my day. It often felt like he was intentionally trying to dismiss or invalidate me. At first, I ignored it because I generally don't let other people's behavior affect my self-esteem. I brushed it off as him being immature or having a bad sense of humor, but over time it became more frequent and more hurtful. Eventually, I noticed I had stopped talking as much when we were together because I felt like anything I said would either be mocked, dismissed, or interrupted. Being around him started making me feel small, unimportant, and unheard. The strange thing is that I'm not someone who stays in relationships where I'm treated poorly. I have no problem ending relationships if someone is disrespectful or mistreats me, so I wasn't sitting around feeling trapped. I just kept trying to understand why someone who claimed to love me would behave this way. Finally, I decided to confront him directly. I asked him, "Why do you do that? Why do you insult me, degrade me, and purposely try to make me feel bad about myself?" I expected him to deny it, make excuses, or tell me I was being too sensitive. Instead, his response completely caught me off guard. He told me, "I have to treat you like shit so you don't think you can go find something better." I was honestly stunned. He didn't sound like he was joking, and he didn't try to soften what he said. He basically admitted that he intentionally puts me down because he's afraid I'll realize I could do better than him and leave. I don't know what to do with that information. Part of me wonders if this is emotional abuse because it sounds like he's intentionally trying to damage my confidence to make me less likely to leave the relationship. What confuses me is that I've never given him a reason to think I'm looking for someone else. I've been loyal, supportive, and committed to the relationship, yet he openly admitted that his solution to his insecurity is to insult me and make me feel small rather than communicate honestly about his fears. Now I'm left wondering what this means for our relationship. Is this someone who is deeply insecure and needs help working through it? Or is this a major red flag that reveals how he actually views relationships? More importantly, if someone openly admits they intentionally hurt their partner in order to keep them from leaving, is that something that can realistically be fixed? Or is it a sign that the relationship has already become unhealthy? Update the next day. I broke up with him a couple of hours ago, and his reaction told me everything I needed to know. Instead of apologizing or taking responsibility for what he said, he immediately tried to turn it around on me. Suddenly, he was just kidding. He told me I was crazy for taking things so literally, that I was psycho because I couldn't take a joke, that I had a stick up my ass, and that I was stupid for throwing this away. He said he thought I was different and that I had changed. In other words, he blamed the entire situation on me. The thing is, I didn't argue with him. I actually laughed because the response was so predictable. I simply told him that I was done, that I didn't want to be in the relationship anymore, and that people who care about you don't say things like that. More importantly, they don't repeatedly treat you the way he had been treating me for months. Whether he meant what he said or not, the behavior itself was enough. Then, on his way out, he smashed the driver's side window of my car. That pretty much removed any lingering doubt I had about whether I was making the right decision. Reading through the comments and reflecting on everything, I think I finally understand why I stayed as long as I did. It wasn't because I thought his behavior was okay, it was because I genuinely didn't recognize how serious it was. I grew up with parents who were verbally abusive, and being criticized, insulted, dismissed, or made to feel small was normalized for me. Compared to what I experienced growing up, what he was doing didn't immediately register as something alarming. Looking back now, I can see that I was minimizing it. I kept telling myself it wasn't that bad because it didn't seem to reach the level of what I experienced in childhood. I ignored the fact that I was talking less, feeling smaller, and constantly being put down because it felt familiar rather than shocking. Familiarity is not the same thing as healthy. What finally made everything click was his admission that he felt the need to treat me badly, so I wouldn't think I could find someone better. Hearing him say that out loud forced me to recognize what was actually happening. Whether it was insecurity, manipulation, or something else entirely, he openly admitted that he was intentionally trying to undermine me. Once I heard that, I couldn't unhear it. Ironically, his reaction to the breakup only confirmed what I had started to realize. Instead of respecting my decision, he insulted me, blamed me, and then damaged my property. That is not the behavior of someone who was joking. That is the behavior of someone who is angry they no longer have control over the situation. This was my first real relationship, and unfortunately it turned out this way. Typical, I guess. For now, I think I'm going back to being single for the foreseeable future. Honestly, I'm okay with that. I'd rather be alone than spend another day with someone who thinks love means tearing another person down. Thank you to everyone who commented and helped me see what I couldn't see clearly myself. What do you guys think? Let's discuss in the comments. Follow and like for more stories.